This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Richard Chapo. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I am excellent, my friend. As excellent as can be. What part of the world are you in, Richard?
I'm in San Diego, actually, just outside of it. There's a little mountain range, believe it or not, to the east of San Diego, and it's about an hour away, and I live up there in the mountains.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do tell me, what does the temperature feel like right now in San Diego?
Oh, we're actually having a cold spell. I think it's 60 degrees, maybe Fahrenheit. So wow. San Diego's not exactly suffering through the negative winters.
Definitely not. The people in Chicago who only heard you now.
It's amazing to see those pictures. It's, man, yeah. That vortex.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Well, do tell me which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history.
Well, I would imagine it's because I work as a lawyer online for online businesses and advise businesses, hopefully, on how to avoid getting sued and certainly on how to avoid losing. And so I'm pretty well known for doing that.
Well, that's great. I can see how much you are needed.
Yes, unfortunately. The internet, the lawyers have arrived. So have the government. There's a lot of new privacy laws and things like that are a bit scary.
Give us one tip in terms of my audience. What's one tip? One tip of something basic you must do on your website.
Unfortunately, these days, the one tip would be if you're selling something, you need to use some kind of an affirmative agreement. So you need, you often see a checkbox. You'll be on a website when you go to purchase something, and you'll be forced to check a box saying, yes, I agree to the terms and privacy policy. If you don't have something like that, in most countries now, your terms and conditions are not enforceable. And so that means whatever policies you have for refunds and things of that sort will not be enforceable on the people who are purchasing from you. So it can lead to all kinds of problems.
There we go, amazing audience. More than you can pay for, most definitely. My friend, that is so irritating, going to a website and having every time, as you said, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Do tell me, though, it seems as though more than just being a person who digests a tremendous amount of information, you found a way for it to be palatable on the ears of those who require it. Who did you learn that from? When I was coming up, when I was first a lawyer, I worked at a firm that was fairly formal, and I went against another attorney in a case who was not. He was very casual. San Diego, of course, is a pretty casual place. And it made me realize that, I didn't have to be the three-piece suit, wingtip lawyer. I could take a different approach. And so I have. As you can tell, I'm quite a bit more, I don't know, informal maybe is a good word of putting it. And some people like that, some people don't. But I just find from a lifestyle perspective, I prefer it. I also like working with smaller businesses, and they're a bit more receptive to that approach. So it's nice to see them grow. So anyways, that individual, I don't even remember his name. It's been so long, maybe 25 years ago. But it was it was an eye-opener for me and kind of set me down this path. That's good. I mean, now that you've had the two sides of the coin, metaphorically speaking, why will you continue to repeat the skill of being this individual?
I just continue doing it all the time. I try to actually, as an attorney, you're supposed to stand off from your clients. You're supposed to be very objective, but I actually take a different approach. I try to look at it as though, my clients, that their business was my business. What would I do? What would I want to know? Those kinds of things. And so it's kind of a unique approach, but I just find it's better, and my clients generally seem to be pretty happy with that approach.
Where's the best place for someone to connect with you?
Probably LinkedIn. After only 13 years, I finally started a YouTube page. LinkedIn's best. They can always get me at my website, of course, at SoCalInternetLawyer.com. But I'm on LinkedIn quite a bit because it's more of a business environment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what's one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
You know what I've done?
at least as far as my business goes, is lawyers are known for being horrible at customer service. So I've really made an emphasis to try to be proactive with clients and also to respond in a timely manner, certainly within 24 hours, which a lot of lawyers don't. And I've found that that's had a major impact on my business.
Who would think, right?
Yeah, it's very surprising. Well, I didn't realize how bad lawyers were in that area. But yes, no, I get comments on it all the time, and my referrals have picked up and things of that sort. So actually trying to treat people like people instead of just clients, and it seems to have gone pretty well.
How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel as an individual, seeing that you've taken a route that is pretty unique, right? How does it make you feel looking back from then to now?
Makes me a lot busier, but it also, I think it's good. It's been positive because, a lot of people, when they deal with an attorney, they do so reluctantly. It's like going to the dentist, I imagine. And, most of my clients now have a much more positive relationship with, particularly, when I'm warning them about something coming down the line, they can plan for it. It seems to have gone much better, and happy clients. It's much like happy wife, happy life. Well, happy clients, happy life. And so I think in that sense, it's worked out pretty well.
That's wonderful. Suggest to someone that's listening why they should do what you've done. It doesn't have to be in the lawyer arena, if you would, but definitely in their business to apply the principles of customer service, of being who you are, true to yourself as well.
Yes, I would definitely recommend it. I think it really sets you out from your competitors. I mean, to be completely honest, I was shocked at what a difference it made. And I think, I don't know, I mean, we all deal with people and businesses these days, and it always seems like people are doing the minimum, to respond to you. So if you can take an approach where you're giving more, even if it's just a little bit more, in relation to customer service, that can make a huge difference. You look at a company online like Zappos. Zappos, if you go to work for that company, I think you have to spend 2 weeks in their customer service department. And that includes if you're, the new CEO or, any position, and you have to go through, all the customer service process and learn it and, communicate with customers so that you always have that, that relationship as a basis of, your performance and what you're doing at the company. I think probably a lot of companies could take advantage of that and benefit from it.
Dig in pretty quickly in terms of what you do in your free time. I know one of the things is this great American novel, right? Tell me a bit more about that, please.
Yes, 25 years. I finished the first sentence. Yeah. Well, like many people, yes, writing the great American novel hasn't really gone anywhere, to be honest with you. By the end of the day, I'm usually pretty pooped. Law takes a lot of energy to do. But that, probably hiking, again, I live up in the mountains, so I've got dogs and what have you, and we live right on the edge of a national forest called the Cleveland National Forest, right? So we go out and, hike through the prairies and up in the trees and everything, and so that's nice. It's, particularly for the legal field or anybody that works in a very busy field, having life balance can be really difficult. And so that's my small effort to fight back and try to carve out some sanity for myself.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Richard Chapo. Do check him out. Richard E. Chapo is where you'll get him on LinkedIn pretty easily. Richard, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you now into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Richard, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Oh, Lord. I would think probably, I'm a dog person, probably playing with dogs. I grew up with dogs. And so I had a dog named Diggity, of all things, and it was a white Samoyed mixed with some type of black breed. So it had black ears and one black eye and the whole 9 yards. And it grew up with me pretty much through my formative years. So I think being with that dog and just playing around with it was great. Pure joy, not a care in the world. So it was a good time.
How old do you think you were in that memory?
Yikes. I don't know, pretty young, maybe 5 or 6, 6 or 7, something like that.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Ooh, deep question. Just carving out time, having time. It's the little things, I think, that make you happy. I always see these things online, people, how to be happy and,
find a job you'll be happy in, and this, that, and the other. And I think often it's just the little things, in daily life that can really, keep you balanced. Again, I'm a dog person. Some people are cat people. Some people, don't like pets, but I happen to like dogs. And, the great thing about a dog is no matter how bad of a day you've had, when you come home, they're pretty happy to see you. So there's a certain pleasure in that.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
Sure.
I love the concept as well, adding to the dog. And yes, when you do show up, the dogs are really happy. But I love the fact that they have, like you are who you are then. There isn't a pressure there, to be someone else. It's like they deal with you as who you are. And I think to see that your love for that relationship, and now to see the relationship you are putting out there by letting people see who you are, and then being a lawyer really creates an amazing space then for a great relationship, even from client based, the way you're doing that. Love how that connects.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yes, I think certainly in any aspect of society, particularly from a professional perspective, there's a certain performance element there, certain expectation. So that's a very good point. I hadn't thought of it.
Love it. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
12 years old. Oh, so I would have been 1979. So I grew up in California, and there was a very big punk movement here. So probably one of the punk songs, I don't know, Guns of Brixton from The Clash or something of that sort.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Richard?
Yes.
Richard, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Probably more.
If you, Richard, had to share with us your own unique, real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Richard Chapo, what would you say that is?
Know yourself.
I love it. Richard Chapo, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for having me on.
Definitely a pleasure. A pleasure I treasure. Richard Chapo, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.